All right, day 3, multiplying fractions. We are actually going to be using our fractions notes booklet today, and we're going to be filling out this top section of the notes. So when we are multiplying mixed numbers, which are a whole number and leftover parts to a whole, like each of these factors are down below here, we are going to rewrite the mixed numbers as improper fractions, and then we will continue to multiply the way that we are used to. So that's the only different step to do when we are multiplying with a mixed number. So if you remember, we last week talked about changing mixed numbers to improper fractions. To this day, I still have to add in my little symbols. So when I'm changing this mixed number to an improper fraction, I have to multiply my denominator by my whole number. So I will still put a little dot in between there to show that 2 times 2 is what I'm doing. Then whatever I get for this answer, I have to add my numerator to that. So now I do 2 times 2 is 4. 4 plus 1 is 5. But then I keep my denominator the same. So this becomes 5 halves. Okay, and then the dot, multiply. Now I multiply my denominator by my whole number. 4 times 2 gives me 8. 8 plus 1 gives me 9. This is just to find out what our new numerator is. But remember, our denominators stay the same. Now that we have these mixed numbers changed into improper fractions, we can multiply straight across. Doesn't look like we can simplify ahead of time, so we're just going to have to multiply straight across. 5 times 9 gives me 45. 2 times 4 gives me 8. Now, this is an improper fraction as our answer, and it most likely is going to be because we're multiplying two improper fractions together. But we can't leave our answer like this. We can leave these like this, but we can't leave this as an improper fraction. So let's pull as many holes as we can, as many 8/8 as we can out of this. So finding how close we can get to 45 when multiplying by 8 until we can't, or so that we're not going over 45. So I'm going to count up by 8s. 8, 16, 24, 32, 40. I can pull 5 8/8 out of there, which means 48. So 5 is my whole number, but I'm left over with 5/8 because the difference between 40 and 45 is 5. So my answer would be 5 and 5/8. Okay, so make sure that you have this copied down. Make sure you also have that part of the notes copied down up here. If you need to pause this for any reason right now to finish, go right ahead. Otherwise, we are going to move into our textbook. You're going to open up to page 284 on the guided practice. We're going to do these problems up here. So page 284. So let's look at problem number 1. Problem number 1, we only have to change one mixed number to an improper fraction. This one's already set up for us. So I'm going to rewrite it down below. And now 8 times 2 is 16. 16 plus 3 is 19. So I know that I have 19/8. When looking across from each other, I know I can't pull any out. I can't simplify ahead of time. So I'm going to multiply straight across. 1 times 19 is 19. 2 times 8 is 16. Now that's the right answer, but it's not our best answer. So let's pull as many holes as we can, as many 16/16ths out, and that's only one. The difference between 16 and 19 is 3, and we have that left over. So 1 and 3/16 would be our answer. All right, number 2. Number 2, we need to change both of these to an improper fraction. So 1 times 4 is 4. 4 plus 3 is 7. So I have 7/4 as my first improper fraction. Times 5 times 2 is 10. 10 plus 4 is 14. So I have 14/5. Now looking across, 5 and 7 don't have a factor in common, but 4 and 14 do. I can simplify or divide each of these by 2. Because I know 7 times 14 is probably not something I know off the top of my head. So let's divide each of these by 2. Cross that out. If I divide 4 by 2, I'm left with 2. Divide 14 by 2, I'm left with 7. So now my new problem is 7 times 7 is 49. 2 times 5 is 10. Now, how many holes can I pull out? I can almost pull out 5, but not quite. So I can only pull out 4. So 4 10/10ths, or 4 holes, is equal to 40 tenths. And when I subtract 49 or 40 tenths from 49, I have 9 out of 10 parts left over. So my answer would be 4 9/10. Okay, let's work on number 3. Changing the improper fractions, or the mixed numbers, to an improper fraction. 1 times 3 is 3. 3 plus 2 is 5. 5/3 times 7 times 2 is 14. 14 plus 4 is 18 sevenths. Looking again, 5 and 7 don't have anything in common. 3 and 18 do, though. So I'm going to take a 3 out of each of these. Take a 3 out of 3, I'm left with 1. Take a 3 out of 18, I'm left with 6. So now my new problem becomes 5 times 6 is 30, over 1 times 7 is 7. But now that's not my best answer. So let's pull as many holes as we can out of 30. So I know 4 times 7 is 28. So that means I can pull 4 holes out of there, and I'm left with 2 sevenths left over. So 4 2 sevenths would be my answer. Okay, so that's all the practice problems we are going to do. Your homework tonight is going to be on the next page, page 285, problems number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So just those 6 problems tonight. Make sure that I get a picture of that, attach the Google form that is attached to this assignment. Make sure I can see your name up here and the page number down here. So page 285, numbers 1 through 6. Okay, let me know if you have any questions.